One Punch Man, Season 2, Episode 5, or Episode 17, I think, in the entire series. Pretty great episode. I really enjoyed this one, too. But again, so much is being crammed into these episodes, especially this one. So I hope you guys were able to keep up with what was going on here. But other than that, let's get into it. So we're opening up the episode with us finding out that Elder Centipede actually showed up 2 years prior to the current time in the story. And this is pretty interesting and kind of rare, too, because we don't typically find out that monsters have been around for a while. Usually they show up and then they get offed by a hero or something. So Elder Centipede is just so powerful that he's been able to just exist for 2 years in this world without being captured or killed. There's another bit of info to Elder Centipede and the whole 2 years thing that's not mentioned in this episode, but I don't want to say it because they might say it later on. I just don't remember when they say it, but there's more to Elder Centipede. It's not like a huge significant deal, but it's like a little bit of information that, I don't know, makes things more interesting. So other than that, Metal Knight shows up, and this is the first time we're seeing Metal Knight in Season 2 so far. We haven't seen him since, of course, when he showed up and took care of Boros' ship at the end of Season 1. So Metal Knight is just doing more of the same, you know, quote-unquote weapons tests. He's being a little bit more affable in this episode than he typically is shown to be. Like, he's telling Mohican and Pineapple to, like, get out of there. Like, he actually is, I don't know, somewhat considering their life. Because, you know, Metal Knight isn't really the most great, kind-hearted hero. So then we're seeing Metal Knight's robot, his combat robot, or the Metal Knight, whatever you want to call it, taking on Elder Centipede, and it's revealed that his missiles don't do anything to him. And this is just further establishing that Elder Centipede, or Centichoro, is at the highest level of durability currently for a monster. Like, Metal Bat strikes couldn't do anything, and now we're seeing Metal Knight's missiles couldn't do anything. On top of him being, like, comparable to the portion of a city, and Disaster Level Dragon is showing that he's one of the strongest monsters we have ever seen in the series so far. And on top of that, we're getting introduced to more monsters, because at this point, just mad monsters are showing up at different cities, and they're all kind of working together. But the important monsters that we were being introduced to in this episode are Rhino Wrestler, Phoenix Man, and Sludge Jellyfish. Something interesting about these guys is that they're somewhat recurring, but one of them have like an insane character arc in Season 3. Obviously, I can't go into who it is and what's going to happen. There's no way you could really guess, but just whenever we get to Season 3, if we do, expect one of these guys to have, like, a crazy episode. And that brings us to the best part of the episode, in my opinion. Something we, the manga readers, have been waiting for so long, and that is Garou versus Metal Bat, the two best boys so far, slugging it out. It was pretty good for the most part. I enjoyed it. I think they did it justice, but I do actually have some issues with this fight. So they kind of downplay Metal Bat's power in this fight. Like, when he hits the pavement and sends that shockwave up the building, it's like really brushed over in this episode. But in the manga, it really establishes that Metal Bat's power is no frigging joke. And I know Garou says it kind of in this episode, but I don't know, I just feel like they're downplaying him. Like, yes, he is lower ranked in the S class, but he is for sure one of the most powerful of them. And I just don't think this episode really showed that or established it enough. And also, like, we all know Metal Bat wasn't going to be able to hit Garou, and this is just further showing that Garou is crazy, and he's just getting better as this season goes on, like, dipping and dodging, even blocking his shots with his own hands. Pretty crazy display from Garou here, but it just further shows also that Metal Bat is, you know, he's just a gritty, powerful dude. Like, he was just born the way that he is. He's not skilled the way that Garou is. He doesn't have martial arts. He just has grit and tenacity. You know, he's like the typical Bancho high school brawler student trope from animes that we see, but just, you know, not unlikable. Like, he has the redeeming likable factor to him. But on top of that, his ability is explained further in this episode. Which is the fighting spirit, aka getting pumped up. So when Metal Bat takes damage, he gets more powerful. That's it. That's like his crazy ability that he has. That's what makes him S-class. That's what separates him from other people. You know, also he has an inherent, like, superhuman strength, but it only grows as he gains more power from the damage he takes. That's another thing that they kind of downplay in this episode. Like, Garou's just like, hey, what's up with you? Or, like, why do you do what you do? I forget exactly what he says, I'm paraphrasing, but Metal Bat's like, it has nothing to do with that. It's just fighting spirit. But in the manga, it's like Garou's like, what is the principle to your power? Or what is the principle to your ability? Or whatever he says. And Metal Bat's like, it's not about principles. I'm just getting pumped up. Or it's just fighting spirit. And it just seemed like it was like a bigger moment in the manga than what they made it out to be in the anime. So as the fight goes on, Garou's just dominating Metal Bat, and this is probably going to make people think that like Metal Bat is weaker than he actually is, but that's not really the case, guys. Metal Bat, like I said, is not the technically most skilled S-class hero, so this is just a terrible matchup for him. Like, Metal Bat is more suited to fight against monsters, not so much like incredibly skilled humans the way that Garou is. I mean, Garou even points it out. He's like, you know, you have no answers to martial arts, just like Tank Top Master. You're just like meatheads, pretty much. And then we come to the final sequence of this fight where Garou does like that double palm thrust thing to Metal Bat, and he puts him out of commission, or at least we assume that he is, because it seems like the fight's over at this point. You know, Garou has stated that he's lost so much blood, he has broken bones. You know, how is he still running at this point? So the fight's pretty much over until Metal Bat gets up and comes within inches of smashing Garou's head with his bat, but he is stopped by his sister. So this is where I have the biggest issue with this episode. This scene, it was not done well. And it sucks to say that, but it just wasn't. This is one of the best moments in the manga, in my opinion, and I think a lot of you guys out there will agree with me on this. And the anime just brushes over it like it's just nothing. Like, it's not even animated that well. It just looks like, I don't know, a vector of the scene. It's not shaded well. I mean, it's just like they didn't really care about this sequence. And it's just like an amazing part of the story, because it's like Metal Bat just keeps getting up. And even though it looks like he was defeated, it just wasn't enough. And Metal Bat's ability just keeps bringing him back until he wins, because that's what Metal Bat says. He says, like, I'm not going to stop until I win. And he's proving it here. But it's just like in the anime, it's just like, oh, he got up, and that's it. But in the manga, it's like really substantial what happens in this sequence. Like, the panel itself is so well made. It just shows really what's going on with Metal Bat here. Like, it doesn't matter how bad he's being beaten. He just goes into, like, this blacked out mode where his eyes are whited out and you can't even really see his face. And the bat is just so close to connecting with Garou. You actually see Garou become worried at this point in the manga. Like, he's like, oh my god, this is going to connect with me. I can't avoid this. Then, of course, Zenko is saving him. So people are probably wondering, like, what would happen if Metal Bat connected with Garou at this point? Well, I can tell you right now that the artist for the manga, Yusuke Murata, he said on a live stream last year, or however long ago he said, that if this were to connect, Metal Bat would have killed Garou. So at this point, he is so powerful from his fighting spirit ability that just one shot connecting with Garou's head is enough to kill him. So the fight ends, and we're further seeing that Garou is just a great character. Like, he's begrudgingly stopping the fight because, you know, he is a hero hunter after all. But once Zenko steps in, he's like, whatever, you know, I'll let you live this time. So it's just showing that Garou, he's not unredeemable. He's not a complete psychopath. He does care about kids, because we saw the relationship that he's been building with Tario, that little kid that he's been hanging around so far in the season. And we're further seeing that, like, with Zenko and Metal Bat, he's like, alright, you know what, I respect this. I'm just gonna let you guys go for now, because, you know, I'm not a complete murderer. I'm not, like, gonna kill a little kid here. So then Phoenix Man shows up and encounters Garou, and it is finally revealed what is exactly going on with all of these monsters in this season so far. Like, why are they all showing up? Why are they've been so organized? And it's because there is a monster association that exists. This is pretty much just the opposite of the hero association. Instead of heroes, it's just monsters, and they are organized. What else is going on with them? We don't know exactly. We do know that they're trying to capture Waganma, which I guess they successfully do in this episode. We don't really see it happen, but it's implied that they do take Waganma. And we're also finding out that they want to recruit Garou to their association, just because, you know, he's the hero hunter, he's been going after heroes, so they kind of have the same agenda in mind here. But of course, Garou just denies them, and this is further building Garou because, yes, we know that he likes monsters, he likes villains, but he doesn't want to ally himself with them. Like, Garou has no allegiance to anyone. He's not with the heroes, he's not with the monsters, he's just by himself. And I think that further makes Garou just such a great character. So other than that, we're seeing Metal Knight. He was still fighting Elder Centipede this whole time. And after Garou kind of denies Phoenix Man's invitation, it's kind of time to wrap up because, like I said, that they have Waganma. So they go and they peace out of there. But Metal Knight connects to Elder Centipede, like with suction cups and whatnot. And then they go back into the ground. So now at this point, Metal Knight is with Elder Centipede and the other monsters. Where are they going? Unknown at this point. Maybe they're going to the Monster Association? We'll see what happens. So then it cuts to the Super Fight Tournament, and we're seeing that it's finally beginning, and we're introduced to the 18 competitors who are going to be in it, or more or less we're introduced to them. And we're seeing that, like, some of them are notorious, like the one guy, Bakuzan. Apparently he won the tournament 4 times before this. I don't even remember that mentioned in the manga, but I'm sure it is. But interesting enough. So we're seeing, like, who the major players are here, who the high seeds are. So we got the Bakuzan guy, and then we've got Snek from the A class. He's going to be in it. Then we got Lightning Max, who we actually saw fight in this episode. Lightning Max was that guy from Season 1 who took on, or was one of the first responders to Deep Sea King, so he's back in the story. Pretty cool. But the rest of these guys, I mean, they're not chumps. I mean, some of them are fodder, of course, but I would say that they're, like, around the A-class level. So, you know, they're going to be somewhat competent in this tournament. But lastly, we're introduced to Suiryu, who I think they said won the tournament twice before this, but he hasn't been around for like 3 years because he's just been a playboy living off of prize money or whatever and do whatever he wants. But this is like the second time that Suiryu has been focused on. And if you've been following the hype up to Season 2 so far, you've probably seen this character like in the promotional material. And he's also has his name run off in the credits, the intro. So Suiryu is a pretty significant character. He's also, you know, already held in high regard, one of the top seeds in this tournament. So then it cuts to our boys, Bang and Bomb, and they're still trailing Garou. They're kind of like doing a stakeout on top of a building, you know, eating some food and talking and whatnot. But other than that, they're also helping out the A-class heroes, like specifically Smile Man. Because, you know, we're finding out in this episode that a bunch of monsters are all organized and they're invading multiple cities. And they happen to be in the same city that Bang and Bomb are in, and they're helping out the A-class heroes. So we're seeing Bang get his hands dirty in this episode. The first time we're seeing Bang fight, actually, in this season. And he's going against the demonic pugilist, who is a demon-level monster. So pretty powerful, comparable to that of an S-class hero. But, of course, just gets annihilated by Silver Fang. Awesome sequence here. But I also think it's further showing how friggin' crazy powerful Bang is. Because when he does the Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist to the demonic pugilist, aka Fist Fight Jin, like, it is so much faster and more impactful than what we saw of Garou doing to Metal Bat in this episode. I think they did that on purpose just to show the difference in their abilities. Because, of course, we have to remember that Garou is the disciple of Silver Fang. But there, you know, Silver Fang is regarded as the gem of martial arts, or the treasure of martial arts, whatever Sourface refers to him as in this episode. And despite, you know, him being old, he's like 81 right now, he's still crazy powerful and number 3 in the S-class for a good reason. So then we're getting introduced to one of the rare female monsters in Super S. She's like the dominatrix looking one. And yes, she is a demon level as stated by Fubuki here, and her crazy unique ability is that she can control the minds of humans, like by whipping them or whatever she does to do it. I don't know if it's fully explained in this episode, but I'm sure it will be in the next one. But then, speaking of Fubuki, she runs into Super S with the Blizzard group, but unfortunately it cuts off there. So it looks like in the next episode, we're going to be seeing Fubuki taking on Super S. And this is a pretty tough test for Fubuki and the Fubuki group, or the Blizzard bunch, whatever you want to call them, because they're all B-class heroes. Of course, Fubuki is B-class rank 1, but Super S is a freaking demon. And like I've already said, demons are comparable to S-class heroes in power. So real big mismatch here, but, you know, we'll see what happens with that. So then it cuts back to the Super Fight Tournament, and we're seeing Lightning Max, the dude I was talking about. He takes on another competitor, one of the few females, I think if not the only female in this tournament, in Ring Ring or Ling Ling, whatever her name is. He beats her, but then it's also revealed that the secret to his technique is having gunpowder in his shoe. Like, we see that when he fights Deep Sea King in Season 1, like, he does, like, that crazy axe kick to him that has, like, the electricity coming out of it. Apparently, this is just gunpowder. So, I don't know. That's kind of cool. A little detail there. So then we're ending off the episode with Zakos taking on Saitama, or Zakos, however you want to say his name. The guy with the long blonde hair who's kind of just been crude and, disrespectful this whole episode. So then it cuts off, like, it goes to the credits, but then after the credits, we just see Saitama one smack Zakos. Hilarious. Great moment. I like how they did the smack. It wasn't like a huge, super impactful one. It was just like, bat, and he just falls down. But then it's revealed, like, his girlfriend, he was going to propose to her, but then she didn't show up. This is further expanded upon in the manga, like, in a bonus part of the end of the chapter, I think. So if you're curious as to, like, what Zakos looks like outside of the ring, it shows you what he looks like, and it shows what his girlfriend looks like too. It's just fun stuff. So that's the end of the episode, and we see the preview still image for the next one, and we see Tatsumaki. So that means Tatsumaki is going to be in the next episode. What's she doing? Well, I can't tell you if you haven't read the manga, but just know that she will be in the next episode. So let me know what you think about all this. Let me know what you think about Metal Bat. Do you think they did him justice? I'm kind of on the fence about this whole Metal Bat versus Garou. It's not terrible. I just wish it was done a little better. But yeah, it's fine. It's whatever. But let me know what you think. And if you like the video, please give it a like. I also have a Patreon. It gives you access to a Discord server. We do Hangouts on there. It also gives you access to a weekly Q&A video that I do in this channel. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.